So welcome to episode 1 of Match Under the Microscope. We're in lockdown 2. Lockdown 1 was all about Beat the Manager, where somehow Lee Allinson managed to sneak a win on the very, very final quiz match. But today it's Match Under the Microscope. Lee, how are you?
Very well. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you. We're less than a couple of weeks into lockdown 2. How are you feeling? How are you kind of dealing with no football again?
Yeah, it's tough. You know, I said just before it's been hard work, but it's been good to get some time out and analyse some things where you don't have that opportunity in the season. Normally, you get a couple of days and then you have to go on to the next. So it's been good to look at where we are, where we've been in the season, how we think we've performed. I think our performances have been up there with some very good ones. But you know, we're not a million miles away, and it's good time now to reflect on it, look at what we need to improve and how we can move forward as a team and as a football club.
What have you been able to do with the team? Obviously, you can't get anybody together. So are you able to set them some kind of long-distance training regimes? What have you been doing?
It's been really tough. It's really hard because you have to trust in the players that will go away and do some stuff. Because as I tried to explain to the group the other day, if we do come back in early December, which I think is looking hopefully likely, you know, we might be either 2 days or 10 days away from your first game. So it's really important they come back with some kind of core fitness. If we were 10 days away, we'll try and get a pre-season or a mid-season friendly in there, a couple of training sessions. And then it's going to be like every team, you know, they can all do what they want away from the football club, but your sharpness is going to come from matches. So we managed to get a Zoom call with all the players the other day. We've set them some challenges, some tasks, and they've done very well, I have to be honest. They've really put their minds to it. They're having a bit of fun with it as well, a little leaderboard and who's doing the best runs. And, you know, just trying to keep the group positive is very difficult. You know, some will buy into it, some won't, but they're the ones that won't be with us at the start of the new season when we go back into it in a couple of weeks. So it's really important to me that we try and move forward, and you have to trust in the players will go away, work hard and be ready to go and take off from when we start back.
Okay, so while we we would all be wishing to be watching real football, this does give us the opportunity to look back on 4 key games that you're going to choose in the 12 months that you've been manager. And we're going to kick off with your first home game. It's actually almost exactly a year ago. It was Saturday, November the 9th. It was a relegation 6-pointer against Beaconsfield. Now, you just joined the club at that point. You weren't managing, but you went to Farnborough midweek, and we lost 4-0. So while you had no involvement, I don't think you were in the dressing room. I think you were just watching it from the stands, and we got walloped 4-0. What were your thoughts having agreed to join Hendon and you watched that?
Well, it was we was in the dugout, we was in the change rooms. You know, we did do it obviously with Scott McLeish's help on the night. I think looking back now, I remember phoning my dad on the way home and saying, "This is going to be a real struggle, and I'm going to need some help and some favours because it was." You know, I don't want to be disrespectful, but it was a lot worse than I thought. If I'm honest, it was bad. It was very disjointed. There was a lot of players through the door, a lot of players that unfortunately I didn't feel were good enough. But there's some really good boys in there as well, and some good players that, you know, are not longer with us, but really had a go. Looking back now and talking to a couple of managers who watched us on that night, Farnborough apparently were very good on the night, and given the credit, they took us apart, and it could have been 10. 4 was very lucky to get out there, but it was bad, you know. And I remember waking up on the Thursday and just getting straight on the phone and trying to get some bodies in before Saturday, because I remember looking at the fixtures, and it was I think it was Beaconsfield at home, and then we had a cup game on the Tuesday, if I'm right, and then we had Swindon away and Tiverton at home. So I knew how hard it was going to be. So it was really important that we tried to get our first win on that Saturday.
So Beaconsfield came to us also in real trouble. So even kind of in this kind of second Saturday of November, it's a relegation 6-pointer, because we were kind of playing as if we were a team that was down and out, and they were in trouble. So you made 3 changes from the side that played against Farnborough midweek, You brought in Hendon legend Dave Dedew on dual registration from St Albans. The only player who's still with us from the 16 on that day, Sam Corcoran, played. And you also brought in Isaac Galliford on loan from Hemel. Talk about Dave. Obviously, he's a Hendon legend. We all love him. But he's hardly played at all for us. But he played that game. Did he pick Dave for that game to kind of say to the Hendon supporters, look, I'm bringing in one of your favourites here. You're going to like me for this?
No, I think it was no, not at all. I think it was just one of them that we were really scratching for players. Firstly, I remember getting Isaac through the door, which was a real coup for us because I know how good Isaac was, and I know Jimmy had tried to get him previously, and it just never quite happened. So we managed to get him first on the Thursday and get that done. So I was happy there, and I managed to persuade Corks to come out. And the one thing Corks will always give you is an ability to pass the ball. And then I can't remember if Dad had a game or not. And I didn't actually, I knew David was a legend. I didn't realise how much of a legend he was at the football club, is honestly. And Dad said to me, you can have David. And I just thought he suited everything that I wanted to try and instill in the club at that time. He was big, he was strong, he was aggressive, and he'd fight for the football club. So, it wasn't until he actually walked through the door and I seen the reception he had, and it was the first time of working with David. And I have to say, I make no bones about it. I've been after him ever since, but I've never taken him off Dad. And, if he'd become available tomorrow, I would do everything in my power to get him back to the football club in a player and coaching capacity, because he's a fantastic player, a fantastic person. And what he gave us on that day, I felt got us through a very tough period after 20 minutes of that game. So to get him in on the day was brilliant, and how he performed for the club just sort of showed me how much it meant to him.
Isaac Galliford, to get a player, to me and to a lot of Hendon supporters, he was a player with real quality. How come he was available to step into albeit on loan, to a team struggling almost at the bottom of the league we're in?
Yeah, I mean, and fair play to the lad for giving it a go. And I think if you ask him and his agents, he did really enjoy his time with us. And I'd love to get Isaac at some point playing back in a Hendon shirt, because he's a very good player. But he's doing really well at Royston, and Steve likes him at the moment. So that's football, and that's where he's playing his stride. But it was a call to Sammy Moore. I didn't ever think we would get him. It was just literally, I think he even messaged me, Sammy, saying, do you want Isaac? I said, listen, mate, I'll take him tomorrow, but he ain't going to come to us where we are at the moment. And he said, no, he would. And then his agent is a friend of our chairman and a very good guy. And we managed to get the deal over the line. And it shocked me, to be honest, and how good Isaac is. And I think you see in that month of playing, he was superb for us. And I think the fans really took to him quite early. And on the day again, he just run for a wall for us. And that was all we needed at that time, was players to buy into trying to survive, because it was a relegation battle. Like you said, we were a long way off and a long way away from being a good side. So it was really important. And he done that for us, Isaac.
So you're in the dressing room. It's your first team talk. That'd be fair.
We'd had a chat on the Wednesday, but yeah, properly our first chat after having a horrid Wednesday night. Yeah.
And what was the mood like? Because obviously, confidence is, in all walks of life, it's important. And a football team that's winning, confidence is so important. But if you're going in the dressing room and you're losing every week, then the kind of mentality, I've got to be honest, when I was interviewing Jimmy every game and we were losing, you just kind of go to the ground and you pretty much know you're going to lose. You kind of lost almost before the referee's blown the first whistle. What was the mood amongst the players for that Beaconsfield game before the start?
It was difficult, because I remember saying to Eddie, this is hard because it isn't our change room, and you've not inherited a group of players that have a winning mentality at the moment. It was trying to breed that winning mentality and that win at all costs, and that let's run through every single wall that gets put in our way. Having said that, we knew that Beaconsfield, they were struggling, but they could play football as well. So it was trying to get into the players of being positive and show us you want to be at the club. And I have to say, when me and Eddie went away on the Wednesday night, we had a chat on the Thursday and the Friday of who we feel wants to fight for the club. And Serge, outstanding lad, works his socks off, wins battles and wants to improve and kick on and wants the club to do the same. Ryan Hope was the same build as that. Tom Hamlin, same person. Luke Tingy wasn't in the side on the Wednesday night, which I couldn't work out why. Come straight in. He wanted the club to do well. Rom wanted the club to do well. So we got them kind of players and pulled them all together and said, look, you all want the same as what we want, and that's the club to move forward. So show us you want to be here. And to be fair, listen, I can't speak badly enough of them group of players, and Reece as well, because Reece was excellent when he used to come off the bench for us. And Cam English as well. There were some good boys, and it was just trying to get them to buy into playing on the front foot and being confident in the way we're going to go about our work and our performance. And to be fair, they bought into it early. It was obviously tough a little bit later on, but they give us what we wanted. They give us a reaction from the Wednesday night, and they were excellent on the day.
So we made a really good start in that game. We had created lots of chances. Galliford had the ball in the net fairly early, and it was ruled out. I remember interviewing you after the game, and in true Lee style, you're going, it was nothing wrong with it. It was a goal. Have you had a chance to look back and have you changed?
I watched it at 11:30 this morning. It was still a goal. No. Listen, as I said there, we come out the traps flying. We were on the front foot and we were playing some excellent football. And I said that was what Corks would do. David De Gea would give us that stability in the midfield where he wouldn't push forward. He'd give us a protection. And I felt early that there was only ever going to be one winner. We looked good down the wide areas. Defensively, we were strong. They never hurt us in behind. And we looked a really good side early, obviously, and then the sending off happens. But, I felt that we were really positive. We were on top and we were playing some good stuff. And, from the Wednesday to where we were on that Saturday, I thought, listen, we've inherited a good group of players here, and now we can kick off, not knowing what was going to happen 5 minutes later.
So leading perfectly. We're 3 minutes before half time. We've had the ball in the net has been ruled out. We've created several other kind of good and half chances. None of them have gone in. And just before the break, centre forward Cameron English it's a challenge. It was hard to see from my angle whether it was malicious, red card or not. But the referee's taken the view, and we're down to 10 men 3 minutes before half time. Did you kind of think what did you think of the sending off decision first?
Listen, it's a difficult one because is it a sending off, isn't it? You've seen them given, you've seen them not given. I think the referee was very quick to get the card out on the day, but I can see why he sent Cam off. I don't believe Cam was that kind of player that would go out and maliciously try and do someone. I think that he was just keen to win the ball and show that he wanted to win the game. And that's what I was asking for players to play on the edge. He'd done that and unfortunately paid the price with a sending off, which I thought was harsh for Cam. And he was one player I really liked and I'd like to have kept round the club. But, I think that 3-game suspension after that really hurt him.
So you go into the dressing room with 10 men. What did you say to them at half time? Did you kind of think, oh, crikey, we're in real trouble here? Or did you still say to them, look, we can win this game?
No, I deep down, I thought we was in serious trouble. In your back of your mind, you're thinking, listen, you don't win this one, you're going into Tiverton and Swindon. If you don't get nothing out of that, you're now 4 games in and you've lost all 4. Now you're under the cosh. So for me, it was a panic inside, but you have to remain calm in them situations and believe you're going to win it. And the one thing we still had a Sam Corcoran who can make things happen. We still had an Isaac Galliford that can still make things happen, and a Ryan Hope, Serge, and David De Gea that would work really, really hard for us. So we still knew we had something in the tank, but we had to be right defensively. And sometimes in life, I think things are just meant to happen because we got battered the second half, but we defended so well and they kept the ball, but they kept it in front of us. And but we just kept trying to make the boys believe, keep working, keep running. And if you work harder than them with 10 men, you'll still try and get something out of this game. And at that point, you're thinking, listen, if we come away with a draw, we'll take it, no problem.
So we'll take a draw, no problem. 20 minutes into the second half, the almost inevitable happens, and Beaconsfield take the lead. What were you thinking then? Were you fearing the worst?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You think the worst. Then you've got 10 men. We've not created anything second half. Isaac Galliford's running his socks off up front. He's probably never played up front in his life. And to be fair to Beaconsfield, they kept it well. They were playing us off the park. I felt that they looked good. They looked strong, and they scored a goal. And you're kind of thinking, listen, it's going to be a long road back. But if you can get a set piece, you never know if we can just stay in it. And I just kept believing if we could stay in it, we might get something out of the game. They hadn't kept many clean sheets themselves, Beaconsfield at the time. And that was the one thing that I was living for, just keep going, trying to get it forward. At times it weren't pretty, it was crude. We smashed it forward. We tried to get in behind them. We tried to work for throw-ons and free kicks, and then knew that when they had the ball, we'd have to sit off and be patient, get it back and do it again. And just hope that you try and get something out of it. And listen, in the end, that's what happened.
Okay, so we're 10 men, we're a goal down. Luck's not with us, but then suddenly we equalise with a centre forwards clinical finish from our centre half and captain Tom Hamlin. Anybody could quite believe his finish. Probably not him either.
No, and that's where you just say, sometimes you just have that luck on the day. And I think if I remember right, we got a free kick, and it might have been Sam Corcoran that delivered the ball in the box, and Tom's just finished it home, and a great finish. And then you believe, you got back to 1-0, but I'm thinking to myself, listen, we can't get on the back foot here. We've got to keep trying to push and push. And if we get too deep and we invite too much pressure, I think by then they brought on Wes Daly. I've played with Wes myself, very, very good technical player. Keeps the ball, passes for fun, got a pass that unlocked. So I knew that we were going to be under the cosh. But the boys just found something, and I have to credit them for that. The way they were and the way they worked, and they just found a way that day, and we got it back to 1-0, and obviously, the rest is history from there.
So the thing that really set a remarkable seal on that game and the win for you was one of the greatest all-time goalkeeping blunders I think I've ever seen, where we're 8 minutes from the end. The balls, their defenders headed it back to their keeper. He's not under any pressure, and it's kind of hit his shoulder. He's dropped it. It's kind of gone behind him. And Isaac Galliford, who thankfully hasn't stopped running, has nipped behind the keeper. There's no challenge. There's no defender. There's no nothing. And he's rolled it into an empty net. Easy peasy.
And that's where I think, sometimes these games are made for you, because, it was just one of them crazy scenarios. But I'm a believer in, if you keep running and you keep working harder than the opposition, you'll find some way of winning. And I believe we've done that on the day. We worked our socks off. We worked so hard. Isaac Galliford didn't stop on the day. And everyone will tell you about Isaac. He has them days where everything comes off for him, and he just run. And he took a gamble, and, some players wouldn't have gambled that day, and the goalkeeper would have got out of that mistake. He gambled. He put the keeper under pressure. The keeper's made a mistake, and he rolls the ball in the back of the net. And what a feeling, that was just unbelievable. The crowd were right behind us. And as I say, sometimes things are just meant to be. And I felt that day was just meant to be. And it was a fantastic, is the best goal that you've ever seen, because it was so crucial. And I still believe it was a really crucial goal at that stage. And then we defended unbelievably after that. Tom Hamlin, Luke Tingy, I think it was, Rom, whoever it was, that just defended the midfield boys, worked their socks off. And we just found a way. And it was just a special day. It really was, to get that first win under your belt, with what we had coming up was really important.
Remember what you said to the team in the dressing room at the end? Just
Listen, just patted every single one of them on the back. And I keep going back to, I'm a real big believer in hard work. I believe that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I think on that day that you'd see that they were more talented than us. I think because they had 11 men and we had 10, they kept it better than us because they had 11, we had 10. But we worked harder than them on the day. And I think that's what won us the game. I really believe that. We worked so hard. And it doesn't mean, you're running up and down the pitch means working hard. You're working hard in your brain. You're switched on. You're concentrating. You're defending properly. You're clearing your lines when you get your opportunities to do that. You chase every ball down. You're switched on to when they're changing different parts of their play. And we were mentally just switched on and mentally better than them on the day. And we worked harder than them. And I believe that's what got us a result that day.
I mentioned at the beginning that Sam Corcoran was the only player then that's still with us out of the 16. It's a pretty amazing kind of situation that 15 players from that day have gone. Was there nobody that you really truly wanted to keep, or nobody you felt was good enough, or did they just not want to stay with us?
No, I think it's a very difficult one, Steve. Obviously, I have my players that I like and my tried and trusted. I think, remember, a couple of weeks down the line, we managed to bring Kieran Forbes in. But unfortunately, the players that were there at the time and take away your Luke Tingies, your Roms, your Hambos and your Surges and maybe Ryan Hope, that we weren't good enough, and that was the fact. It wasn't good enough for 18 months. Unfortunately, it just didn't quite click, and I felt that we needed to make changes. I knew that what would get us up the league, and I think that was proven as the season went on. Yes, we had some blips, but that's football. That's going to happen. But it wasn't right, and we wasn't good enough, And then boys, I'll always credit them. I didn't want to lose Luke Tingy because I felt that Luke always offered the same. But Luke wants to play football every week, and I appreciate that. And he's a good guy, a lovely lad, and done very, very well for us. Sam Corcoran, funny enough, when I got the job on the Wednesday, that he'd actually left the WhatsApp group and said, "Now Jimmy's gone, fellas. I was only there for him, and I'm done." And I'm ringing Corks saying, "Corks, I've got the job. Like, I need you to come back." He said, "Oh, Gaff, I'll play for you Saturday, but I'm done. I can't commit." And then I remember he ringing me back a little bit later on in a few weeks down the line and saying, "Look, I want to come back and give it a go." And I love Corks. He's brilliant for us and brilliant for the changing room.
But of course, the two of you had history, which we discovered in Beat the Manager.
And that just shows you what football's all about. I was thinking this earlier, and I've had some right run-ins with some players in the past, and it's never personal with me. I just, it is what it is. After the game, I'm back to normal. It's just, you want to win. You have a winning mentality about you, and you want to do what it takes to win the game. And that, me and Corks, we're very similar like that. We'll even have a row now in the changing room if it means we're going to win the game. That's what we need to do. But it was just one of them things at the time. I felt that it needed changing. I felt that it come very stale. I felt that there wasn't a winning mentality amongst the group, and we needed to bring players in that had that winning mentality, which I feel that, again, we'd see across the season and we're seeing now.
So we're through episode 1 of Match Under the Microscope. What have we got? What have we got next week? I've got to thank everybody who sent their questions in. Please send the questions in for the next game. And who are we going to be featuring then, Lee?
Well, I've picked. I'm going to pick Weston-super-Mare. I'll go into more detail about it next week, but I feel that we'd come off the back of a draw against Hartley, disappointing loss against Harrow, and a loss against Chesham. And then again, you're not far off the relegation zone, and you're thinking, where's this next win coming from? And then we'll go into Weston next week because that was some performance. So yeah, we'll go into that next week, and that's the game I'd like to choose. All
right, lovely. So thank you very much, Lee. No trophy to win this time round. No Luca hiding under a table this time round. But that's great. Thank you very much. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
And you. Thank you.